It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by the Marine Industries Association of Palm Beach County, Boating, the Lifestyle of Palm Beach County, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, manufacturers of worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the boat improvement show. I am your host, John Greviskis, and this is my partner, the totally tall, towering boatman himself, Burt Dell.
Hi, folks.
We're on location today at Birdsall Marine Design in downtown West Palm Beach, Florida, and today's show is a great one. We're going to show you how one of the world's finest designers of T-tops and towers fabricates and installs these beauties.
Thanks to Tom Mosley. Tom wrote in and asked us to cover this particular topic.
And Tom, because we're using your suggestion on today's show, you're going to receive one of these official ShipShape t-shirts, just like Burt's wearing.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
We're inside the showroom of Birdsall Marine Design, and with me is the owner and founder of Birdsall Marine, Bob Birdsall. Bob, welcome to ShipShape.
Pleasure having you here.
Can you tell us a little bit about Birdsall Marine?
Sure. It's a company I started 15 years ago. We manufacture T-tops, towers for boats, rocket launcher leaning bolsters, primarily for smaller craft.
I see. If a customer wanted a T-top, what kind of choices would he have?
Well, there's many choices. This top here is a cambered double boat top, our deluxe top, and we have a standard single boat top over here.
Okay. Bob, I noticed that you have some kind of a sleeve thing here. What's that all about?
All our products are sleeve welded. What this does, this sleeve is placed on the legs.
Okay.
It's plug welded, meaning we bore a hole and we weld it, the sleeve to the leg. Then we cover it with a pipe which attaches to the console.
Okay. Now what does that do?
Well, what it does, when you weld aluminum, you anneal it. That means you soften it.
Okay.
So it makes it much stronger.
All right, so this is sort of like a shock absorber.
Exactly.
Now, I noticed that you have other ones up here and
there's sleeves here.
They're kind of all over this thing.
Right.
That's incredible. So that really makes it strong, and when you're taking the pounding on the waves out there in the ocean, this really absorbs some of that shock and stress. Now, do all the tops come in just, standard size?
No. We make different size tops depending on the boat and the customers.
Okay.
Different heights and different sizes. If the customer's fair complected, we make the top a little bit bigger if he wants more shade. If he's tall, we make it taller. Shorter, we make it shorter.
So these are truly custom tops?
Absolutely.
Could we possibly go out into the shop and see what Burt and your son Bob has been doing on one of these?
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay.
Bob, what's the first thing you do when you're building a T-top?
Well, Burt, after the dimensions are all figured out in the office, work orders wrote on it, and that work order's conveyed out to the shop, the fabricators. This is a top section. This is a single bow T-top. It's all anodized aluminum. It's Heliarc welded together, which is the process when you're welding aluminum. That's what it's called. After this point, what we do is we go to the next stage and we fabricate the leg assembly for the top.
Great. Can we see how you guys do fabricate the legs?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Burt, we're at the hydraulic bender,
Right.
which is a main tool used in fabrication naturally. What we have here is a leg. The hydraulic bender takes many different shoes. This is 1¼ inch pipe, which is one of the sizes we use in manufacturing the legs of the T-top.
So you can bend several different diameter pipe then on this bender.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
We basically range from 1/2 inch pipe to 1.5 inch pipe. As far as the fabrication of towers and T-tops, this material is bought as pipe, which measures ID, which is actually larger than the pipe size. If that confuses you, pipe's measured inside diameter, which this would be 1.25 inches,
Right.
but the OD of the pipe is larger.
Okay.
Let me show you how we'd bend up a leg. Actually, the fabricator, upon getting the top section of the top, like we saw earlier,
Right.
he would pull notes out if we have the notes, which most of the time we do on the particular boat he'd be working on.
Right.
And he would cut the pipe to length, marking where his bend marks are, and at that point, turning the bender on, putting the correct size shoes in the bender, actually turning the bender on, and then bending the pipe on the bend mark. What you do would be to receive the pipe in,
Yeah.
put it on your bend mark, look at your notes, and push the scale to the bend that is desired.
So this will take it up to whatever degree bend that you want.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
If for any reason the fabricator doesn't have the notes, at that time, he would more or less have to figure out each bend and the angle of each bend, which gets into a little bit more work. But
You're talking some math then, I guess, huh?
well, yeah. Picking up all the angles of the console and
Right.
getting the correct rake on the top is very important.
Right.
The hydraulic bender is a very strong tool naturally. It's safe. You more or less put the pipe in, you put the bend mark on the center line of the shoe, and you would normally just turn the handle and push the measurement to whatever you'd like.
Right.
And at that point, you stop it, take it out of the bender, and then you have a bend.
Oh, that's great.
Normally, a fabricator would come down approximately 12 inches for this first bend and making the leg assembly, the front leg of the top. At the point of having 2 legs bent, then he would stand the top section that we saw earlier up.
And then you get ready to make your rear legs, I guess, then.
Exactly. Once the front legs are tacked into position and you've got the desired height to the top, then you would build the rear legs.
Great.
Okay? Burt, we're looking at a single bow top, stood up on 4 legs, such as the top we saw earlier on the table. The fabricator's in the process of tacking everything up. We try to match a lot of different angles of the console.
I see it follows the lines of the windshield and the console really nice.
Yes, it does. We take a lot of pride in doing that. Each T-top's manufactured for that particular console.
So this truly is a custom top for this boat.
Yes, it is, Burt. This fabricator right now is fitting the side tube in. He'll tack everything up, all the bracketry. The top will then come off the boat, get welded up, and then go on to wiring.
And we'll get right into that after this commercial break.
Stay on course. Shipshape will be right back.
When you seriously want your expensive wax and buffing pads rejuvenated to a like-new condition, you seriously want Sure-Hold Industries Serious Pad Cleaner. Scientifically formulated to quickly dissolve compounds and waxes from all wool pads, foam pads, microfiber towels, cotton bonnets, even blended buffing pads. All it takes is adding this Serious Pad Cleaner powder to your arsenal. Serious Pad Cleaner, another answer from Sure-Hold Industries' clean and simple solutions for detailing all your toys.
Welcome back. Bob's going to show us how he runs all these wires through this maze of pipes. Bob, you want to give us a heads up here?
Sure, Bert. Depending on how much accessories the customer may want, it's going to determine how much wiring goes into the structure. What we try to do is we try to hide all the wiring. We bore holes for the wiring to run through, fishing the wire through the pipe. What you want to do is hide as much of the wiring as possible, naturally. Yeah. Where the wiring exits the pipe, we try to put the heat shrink tubing on there.
I guess that keeps from getting any chafing on your wire.
Exactly.
If it causes a short or something.
Exactly. You want to use a good quality wire.
Right.
This particular customer is getting a rear spreader light. I see the pin here where the light goes. It looks like he's getting an anchor light. Most tops get an anchor light on them. You'll pull the wiring through the tubing.
Is it very hard to pull it through the tubing?
Sometimes it is very hard. Hiding the wire and being able to pull it through the corners and stuff.
I guess that's a trick in itself.
Yes. Eventually what you'll want to do is pull the wiring down normally the front leg of the structure and then hooking the wiring up to all the switches in the console.
Now this just goes, you bore a hole, or goes right through the floor of the boat into the console, and you really don't, standing outside, all you see is just your accessories on your top, and that's it.
Exactly. Once the top's in this stage, the rigger, as we call them, will look at the work order, go over it, make sure that he's got everything done, all the antennas drilled and tapped, all the wiring's in position where it needs to be.
Right.
At that point, he's ready to lace that canvas.
Great. You want to show us your canvas?
This is the canvas for this job right here, ready to be laced on.
Okay. Hey, can we take a look at your canvas shop and see how you guys actually lay out a pattern for a canvas, or so to speak?
Let's do that.
All right, great.
Well, Bert, we're in our canvas shop. There's a couple different materials that are used on the T-tops and the towers, such as your Sunbrella and your Weblon material.
Right.
They're both probably the top materials used.
Is this better than this for waterproofing, or does it really matter?
Well, it really doesn't matter. Your Sunbrella comes in different colors, more variety of colors.
Right.
It breathes a little bit, where your Weblon is more your vinyl. It is definitely more waterproof. They both last basically the same amount of time. They're both very good.
So it's a personal preference, basically.
Exactly.
Then. Okay.
What we generally do is when we go with a lighter color material, we suggest going with your Weblon.
Okay.
Because in the canvas, the lighter colors show more dirt. Is one of the things we suggest. Your darker colors, naturally, they're not going to show as much dirt.
Right.
In the past, one of the weak spots has been the thread actually rotting.
The UV come in and rot the thread out.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
The sun, the material themselves last real good. The thread's what used to rot, and we're using Gore-Tex thread, which is real good, and that basically eliminates that problem.
So it's best to spend the money the first time around and get the thread that lasts.
Exactly. We also manufacture different types of, this is a motor cover we're looking at. We do all our rocket launcher cushions, console cushions, enclosures, anything.
So you guys basically, you custom make any upholstery item for a boat.
Exactly.
That you could imagine, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great.
Well, Bert, what we have here is a finished product.
Really looks nice.
Thank you. Other than pulling the boat outside, detailing it out, it's ready for the customer.
Well, Bob, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bert.
All right.
Don't float away. ShipShape will be right back.
When it's time to clean up those nasty, dirty, grungy dock lines, then it's time for you to pick up today the new rope and cord brush from Surehold Industries. The adjustable, flexible design easily wraps around ½ to 1 inch, twisted or braided ropes, power cords, garden or bilge hoses, even your stainless steel rub rails. Use the might of this new brush with the cleaning power of Surehold's SMC cleaner. Simply soak, then brush, sparkling clean. So get scrubbing today.
I'm in Stuart, Florida at Stella Marine, and with me is the owner of Stella Marine, Bob Stella. Bob, again, welcome to ShipShape.
Okay, John, good to see you.
I understand we're going to be taking a look at this 30-foot Pursuit. Can you tell us a little bit about this boat, Bob?
Well, this is a brand new boat. It came out last year, and it's been a very, very good seller for us. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'd like to tell you about it.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, first of all, you notice the helm.
I do. This is nice.
You've got 360-degree visibility all the way around.
Nice feature. Real nice feature. This looks to be aluminum.
That's right. It's an aluminum cast wheel. It's better than a lot of the stainless steel wheels that are out there because it won't get heated up during the day when you're out there fishing.
That makes sense.
Plus, for cleaning, it's very, very easy. You just wipe it down.
Sure, that's a nice feature. They've paid a lot of attention to detail on this.
Well, this boat's a cut above, as you know, quality-wise, and some of the features that you've seen in the boat make it a Pursuit, make it the boat it is. You notice the helm?
Yes, I see this. This is all set for flush mounting your electronics.
Yeah, it just came in, otherwise I'd have all the electronics on there, but it's a very, very easy job. It's very deep. It'll accommodate some of your large fish and video depth finders, radars, and the whole helm pulls right back so you can get accessibility into the back of it.
I gotcha. That's a nice feature. Now, what do we have here?
That's good for storage. I'm just putting charts in there for the day.
Okay.
Anything really, you know, it's a.
So this will keep your charts dry.
Keep them all dry.
Fantastic. What do we have in the cuddy cabin?
In the cuddy cabin, of course, it has a nice entry. You can sleep 4. It has a forward berth, and it has an over-under berth on the starboard side. It has a private head.
Nice floor.
It's teak-and-holly floor. Ooh. It's got a private rack in there, closet, just for your rod storage.
Fantastic.
All the details have been really thought out nicely.
Sure. How wide is the beam on this boat? I mean, I'm looking at 3 seats here. You know, that's not normal.
This boat's a 12-foot beam, and these seats are great because down your mates can be very comfortable when you're hitting some rough water out there. And again, they're 360 degrees.
Fantastic.
Turning around and cruising, looking at the fish, the visibility is great.
What do we have down below you?
That's a quick access to your engine room.
Okay.
And of course, this whole engine room is hydraulic.
Can we take a look at that?
Let's take a look.
Let's go. Bob, what are you doing here?
I'm going to show you the engine room.
But this must be a hydraulic setup.
It sure is. It's real impressive, and it's a great feature. You don't have to lift up anything.
I see that. That is
easy,
fantastic.
accessible. Well, you know, the older we get, our knees get older. We don't have to bend down too much.
Let's take a look at the engines and see what we have here. How is this boat powered?
Well, this has got Volvo inboard diesel engines.
Okay.
And it's a very economical boat. The boat will cruise at 28 miles an hour.
Right.
It's got a 450-mile range.
Nice.
And it's very quiet.
Well, they've really laid this thing out. So this is all hydraulic. You don't have to worry about moving anything. Do you have a quick access into the
You have a quick
engine?
access, which is right behind your helm seat.
Okay, great.
Which makes it real easy. You know, if someone's standing there and you just want to check your fluid levels.
Right.
But you can crawl right in there, work, change your filters. It's real neat. It's a great feature.
Fantastic. Well, I see back here we have a couple of hatches and stuff. Let's take a look at what we have.
Notice
what do we have
this
here,
also has your herringbone non-skid on the floor, which is a trademark.
This is so important when you're fighting fish, to have this kind of a deck.
But you know what it is, you're moving around and this stops you from slipping.
Sure. What do we have down here?
Back here you're looking at your hydraulic steering and also your rudders.
Okay.
Okay, and a bilge pump back there, and it's
great access.
It's accessible,
sure.
And that's where it's at today.
Sure, this is good.
You start paying $48 to $50 an hour and more.
Right.
For servicing, and this eliminates taking anything apart.
Absolutely. Now this is What? What do we have here?
Back here you got your large fish box.
They designed it so the fish box is on the back of the boat.
It's on the back of the boat and it drains right out so nothing drains into your cockpit. And this opens from both ends.
What an idea. So when you're down here gaffing a fish, boom, you can just bring it and throw it right into the box.
That's right.
You're not going to get all the blood and guts on the deck.
And imagine this, you can come back here and you can open up this transom door.
Nice feature.
For the big ones.
Oh my.
Well, it's good for fishing and diving. You
Sure.
know, these types of boats, people dive with them.
Very easy to get in and out.
We don't have a swim platform on it because this is set up for fishing. But it's very simple to put one on.
Okay, great. Again, I see that we don't have any cleats.
Right. Everything is
Back
set
here.
back down in your house pipes.
Everything recessed. That's nice.
Right. You notice your big scuppers for your water?
Right.
So everything drains right out.
Beautiful.
And they're good and high.
Well, this is quite a top, quite a tower that you have here.
It's
tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's really easy for accessibility. You know, most towers years ago, you had to crawl underneath bars.
Right.
And then get up there and you had this one little seat. This one here, you walk up, you walk right through like a gentleman, and you sit down. It's got a large rocket launcher and a leaning post. I'll get you up there later.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
We're up on top in this tower, Bob, and we're talking about one spectacular 360-degree view.
Notice how easy it was for you to get up there. You didn't have to crawl under anything.
Plenty of headroom, but you feel very secure up here. You have a very large leaning post or rocket launcher back here. This will comfortably seat 2 or 3 people. And when you're moving in those ways, you feel totally safe.
You sure do, very secure.
Again, I see that you have the aluminum wheel. Now it's a hot floor today.
That's pretty cool.
And my hands are in the direct sun on this wheel, and there is not a problem in the world with this. That's a great feature. And Pursuit has really paid particular attention to detail with the color coordination of the boat. I mean, if you look at the gold, tying in with the gold rod holders, downstairs, upstairs, everything matches. They really, really did this thing right.
It's a real class boat, isn't it?
Let's take it for a spin.
Let's go, I'm ready.
Well, Bob, thanks again for being on Ship Shape.
Okay, John.
Let's go fishing.
All right, let's go. We're ready.
Stay on course. Ship Shape will be right back.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show,
And tune in next week.
because the projects keep getting bigger and better.
See you next time.
See you guys.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble-free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the way to go. The Ship Shape Boat Care Show.